Hello, my name is Kirk Stevens, and I chose from Project Category 1, Option 5, identify a recent phenomenon highly popular with the public and analyze with the help of outside sources the media's role in creating this new trend or fad. For this project, I decided to study my favorite sport, the sport of MMA. For that, I religiously studied the book Total MMA Inside Ultimate Fighting by Jonathan Snowden. It's essentially a cover-to-cover textbook about everything MMA. If you're not familiar with MMA, it stands for Mixed Martial Arts, which is synonymous with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, also known as the UFC. Contrary to popular belief, the UFC is not the sport of mixed martial arts. It is a promotion of the sport mixed martial arts, much like the NFL is to football. The UFC was created in 1993, and it was the first of its kind. Rorion Gracie, along with the help of Art Davie, envisioned a sport in which the best athletes from any martial art, be it boxing, wrestling, taekwondo, or any other discipline, could get together and see who's the ultimate fighter. Unfortunately, in its early days, the promotion was quite barbaric, enforcing only a few safety rules. Advertising it as a blood sport attracted the attention of pay-per-view, who was looking for something new and exciting to fill a vacant slot. Rorion and Art knew they needed the sport to be televised in order to survive. With the help of pay-per-view, the UFC began attracting more attention than ever. Unfortunately, much of this attention came from Senator John McCain, who highly opposed the sport due to its violent nature. John McCain made it a personal goal of his to bring the UFC down. At this time, the UFC was struggling and was unable to support themselves in court due to lack of funds. They put the company up for sale for just $2 million. Gym owner and fight fan Dana White approached his friends the Fertitta brothers, who had made a fortune in the casino business, hoping to purchase the UFC. They bought it for $2 million and established Dana White as the company's president. Dana White understood that in order for mixed martial arts to become a mainstream sport, that some safety regulations would have to be put into place and that the rules would have to be drastically changed in order to protect the fighters and ensure the integrity of the sport. Dana White knew better than anyone that in order to be successful in this business, he had to get the UFC televised. That's when he had the brilliant idea of the Ultimate Fighter. Dana White approached Spike TV with a pitch for a new reality show. Fortunately, at the time, Spike was looking for a new reality show, and they were intrigued by his proposition. The idea was for a TV show called The Ultimate Fighter, in which two teams of fighters would compete against each other in a tournament format. The winner of the show would be crowned as the Ultimate Fighter and win a six-figure contract with the UFC. At the end of the first season, the last men standing were Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar, who duked it out in the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 finale. As fate would have it, this was the most important fight in UFC history and would determine the future of the company. Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar's war proved to be so entertaining that television numbers actually began rising halfway through the fight. This meant that people were calling up their friends and telling them to turn the channel to Spike and watch this fight because it was so entertaining. After 15 minutes of battling, Forrest Griffin emerged victorious and became crowned as the first Ultimate Fighter. The 12th season of The Ultimate Fighter premiered just 2 weeks ago, and the show is still running strong. Due to the influence of the media, namely television, Spike TV, and pay-per-view, the UFC and mixed martial arts has become the fastest growing sport in the world. Promotions have opened up in Canada, Japan, Brazil, and Europe, and the UFC itself has signed contract with China and Japan and recently promoted in Australia, Germany, and Canada. Full episodes of The Ultimate Fighter are now available online at Spike.com, making it more accessible than ever before. Major corporations such as Gatorade and Under Armour have actually begun sponsoring fighters and supporting the sport of mixed martial arts. With major television companies and high-profile sponsors backing the UFC, it's no wonder that mixed martial arts has become wildly popular. It is truly a modern sport that owes its success to the mass media that has fostered it over the years.